Absolutely nothing has been decided. Nobody's committed. Nobody said no to Kentucky. And yet, Big Blue Nation has been melting down today.
You are Locked On Kentucky, your daily podcast on the Kentucky Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's going on, Big Blue Nation? Welcome on into Locked On Kentucky, your daily Kentucky Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Lance Dawe, and on today's episode of the show, we're going to be talking about Donnie Freeman. He's on campus today. That's great, but we need to discuss what happened with Rob Wright and Tyran Stokes during their visits to Kentucky over the last 24 hours. It's not been great. The reporting has not been great, and I don't think I've seen Kentucky this active online in such a negative way in the 5 years that I've been doing this show. Some of it's fun. The last couple of days have been great with the banners that the frat houses have been hanging, everybody making it really clear we want Donnie Freeman, we want Tyran Stokes, we want Rob Wright III, we want all of these guys. They get to campus. It feels like the good side of this fan base was being shown to the world. All of the momentum, all of the happiness, all of the excitement. And here we are now. And it seems like things are still up in the air. Things are still in limbo. Everybody's freaking out. But nothing's been decided. Nothing has been decided. Nobody is committed. Nobody has said no. It's not the end of the world. We're going to walk through all of it on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live on YouTube, if you're listening to this on audio, wherever you're getting your podcasts, thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you have not already. We will get to the live chat. We'll get to all of your thoughts. I actually find it very funny that the literal first comment on this live stream from Jay White is, "Are we living in hell?" Is this what we are now? A team that historically has dominated, has won all of these titles, won all of these championships, has controlled the conference that they abide in for decades and decades. Are we now relegated to being perpetually mid? Because our coach and JMI, the university, we won't blame this on one individual or one part of the puzzle. The university can't recruit or get the players that they want anymore. Is this even real? Are we in purgatory? I want to remind all of you, and I've already said it twice, I think. I'll say it a third time. I'll say it 50 times during this show if I have to. Nothing has been decided. As Captain Crash just said, they haven't totally whiffed yet. And if they get at least one of these kids, I think we'll be pretty happy. If they get at least one of Stokes, Wright, Freeman, we'll be happy. We'll especially be happy with the point guard situation because at least Kentucky has options. That's the good news. At least we've gotten two kids on campus and they can probably get a commitment from one of them. If they can't get either Rob Wright or Zoom Diallo, we will come on this show and we will lose our ever-loving mind. And we'll be doing that all summer. We'll be going, what on earth? This is now 2 off seasons in a row where Mark Pope and this staff clearly wanted a couple of players and they couldn't get them. That's not the case right now. That's not the case. Magoon Gwath, by the way, has committed to DePaul. He would have been a backup option, and I would have taken him. I would have been excited about him. He was number 10 on my big board. But at the end of the day, you've got some good things to be excited about at your 5, specifically with Marino, and we have so much time. We have so much time to put together a roster. So what has been happening? What's been going on with Stokes? What's been going on with Wright? Why is everybody freaking out? If you're watching this right now and you consistently watch the show and you don't know what's been happening on Twitter, you don't know what the reporting is, first of all, bless you, because you've actually done what all of us need to do, which is get outside, touch some grass, take in the fresh air, and think about literally anything other than Kentucky basketball for a few hours. Obviously, we're talking about it right now, but if you've somehow missed the boat, let's fill you in. So Rob Wright and Tyran Stokes on campus together at the same time. Stokes arrived on Monday, I believe, earlier in the day. Rob Wright arrived later Monday afternoon. And according to early reporting, and I believe most of this was from Jack Pilgrim of Kentucky Sports Radio, according to KSR reporting, the visit was going pretty well, especially with Wright, especially with Rob Wright. Matt Jones was kind of tweeting out cryptically saying, well, at least things are going well, really well, with at least one player. And so we're excited. Last night, we're hyped up. We're thinking, what on earth is Kentucky going to do? Are they going to get both? Are they going to get one? We're just so fired up and excited. We want to see one of these kids commit because they're so talented. They'd be so integral to next season's roster. And then this morning hits. And we don't really hear much. And then this afternoon hits. And Travis Branham of 24/7 Sports, one of the most respected, well-known, known commodities in the college basketball recruiting landscape, says on CBS Sports HQ, things aren't going so well. This is from CBS Sports HQ. If you watch this live, if you watched it on CBS, if you read it on KSR or somewhere on Twitter, here it is. Here's the quote on Travis Branham talking about Rob Wright III. Yeah, there's been a lot of smoke and talk regarding the Kentucky Wildcats and Rob Wright. He's currently on campus for a visit, and go back about 48 hours ago, the information I was receiving was positive for Kentucky. But throughout the last 24 hours that lead into today, throughout the course of today, my confidence in him landing at Kentucky is actually decreasing right now. And I'm getting to the point where I'm classifying this as a toss-up. I think there's a very real chance he could end back up at BYU. And then Twitter exploded. I don't know if it crashed on your end, but it definitely crashed on mine for a little bit. And it was trending at one point on Twitter, like 7,600 tweets about Tyran Stokes and Rob Wright, and how on earth could this go from we've got it in the bag, we've got the money, he's interested, we've got both these kids on campus, it's a great opportunity for them to meet each other. I think they've already played with each other at one point, by the way. And then for Travis Branham to just casually drop, it's 50-50. I think a lot of you have the same question that I do. And I won't even ask that question until we get to the middle of the show here, because I think it applies to both these players. There is a disconnect, and I'm willing to make this claim. There is a disconnect between this staff, maybe specifically Mark Pope, JMI, the way that Kentucky wants to handle their money, and the players that they want. And I'm having a very hard time believing at any point from here on out, it's just the players. It's the players' lack of interest. It's the players' desire to go home. It's the players being pursued by other schools. I'm getting to a point now where I'm having a very difficult time just saying, yeah, that's the problem. They're the problem. We're not the problem. This is now going on 2 off seasons where this staff can't close. They can't settle the deal. And with all of the drama, the JMI drama that came out in, I think, late November, throughout the course of December, we talked about it at length here on the show. Like, they have the opportunity to April and May to fix this problem, to recruit right. They know what they need to do. It's public now. Any idiot with a microphone and a YouTube channel can sit here and tell you they need to be more aggressive. They need to be more open to realizing that these kids are here for the money now. They need to recruit differently. I don't know what on earth the conversations were with Tyran Stokes and Rob Wright throughout the course of today, but I'm here to tell you the fact that we are coming out of this without positive information is really, really strange to me. And we'll get to the Stokes side of it in a second. It's really strange to me. All of that to still say, to go back to what Branham said, I'm getting to the point where I'm classifying this as a toss-up, What does that tweet not say? What does that statement on CBS Sports HQ not say? For everybody watching, for everybody melting down, what does that say? Not say, it doesn't say Rob Wright is committed back to BYU. Rob Wright is committed to Arkansas. Rob Wright is committed to Louisville, Tennessee. Rob Wright is committed to New Jersey International Tech. He's committed to NJIT. It hasn't said any of that. I will continue to maintain the position until we really need to sound the alarm. We'll get a bell, we'll ring it here on the show, and I'll scream and cry and throw up. Until that happens, just need a little bit of patience. This fan base cares so much. I care so much about this team. It's part of why I love doing this. It's part of why I love doing the show. I love talking with you guys. I love going live and talking to you. There's 300 plus of you in here now at almost midnight because of how much we care about this. There has to come a point, though, where we take a step back and we realize it's not over. It's not over. And I will say this about Rob Wright specifically. Number one on my board, best player in the transfer portal, in my opinion. Really, really solid, stabilizing player. I'll go back to what I said last week. If you were watching then, and if you weren't then, subscribe now because it's going to be a really fun month or two. Zoom Diallo out of Washington is still not out of the question. Kentucky, right now, if I had to guess, is going to get one of them. And if they get either of them, I'm very happy. Frankly, I think you would be happy as well to either get a 6'4" guard that can get downhill and can distribute a 30+% assist rate. That would be great. Let's get some more guard depth behind him. Jalen Cox, Alex Wilkins will roll, who are, by the way, are still visiting. It's not the end of the world. If we get Rob Wright, we just got one of the best players in the transfer portal. We got a guy that shot over 40% from three that we can have at point guard. We got a scorer. We got a floor stabilizer. We got a general who knows what it takes to win and played very well in arguably the best conference in America last season. Rob Wright would be great. Either of those guys would be great. Nothing has happened. We're okay. We're okay. It's not the end of the world just yet. If Kentucky, and I said it a minute ago, if Kentucky doesn't get Wright or Diallo, that is when we panic. The Tyran Stokes stuff has been so roller coaster, up and down, bull this entire time, this entire process. We're talking all the way back to October, by the way. It's been like that since October. At this point, I don't really care. Like, I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, if you want to come here, awesome. We'd love to have you. If you don't, get out. I'm sick of this. But again, he hasn't committed anywhere yet. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing has been decided. I would feel bad if I didn't talk about it on the show. It's been reported. I think most of this is behind a paywall at KSR, but everybody wants to go ahead and post it on Twitter. I feel bad because I like a lot of the guys at KSR. We have some of them on the show. I would feel like it would be disingenuous for me to not acknowledge this. But according to Matt Jones, and this has been posted publicly at this point by people who are just ripping it off the paywall, according to Matt Jones, there were things planned for Rob Wright that had to be postponed because Wright wanted to go home and have a night final think. It's a matter of whether he wants to stay at BYU or come to Kentucky at this point, money aside. Both programs have the money for him. It's just simply a matter at this point of whether or not he wants to stay at home. It's his decision. The ball is in his court. We'll see what happens. We'll roll with it. I got to dive more into this Stokes stuff because I'm going to get to the question I have about Mark Pope and this staff, and I tweeted it out. But we'll get more in depth here in just a moment. What a wild turn of events today. And I know a lot of you in the live chat are just very upset. Before we dive into the Stokes part of this, we'll tell you guys real quick about our friends over at TurboTax, because obviously it's tax time. It's tax day tomorrow. It might be tax day already for you, depending on where you're watching this. But for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. It's trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, it's trying to do it last minute. If some of you are trying to do it last minute now, it's chaos, it's panic, It's usually awful, but this year, you're getting a major upgrade and major comfort. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can go and meet face-to-face with a real tax expert. Your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And then just like that, you can be done tomorrow. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every single dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in, meeting a real person, walking out, knowing your taxes are actually being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you, and you can book your appointment. All right. A lot of thirst here on a Tuesday night. Running into Wednesday here at Locked On Kentucky. 428 of you in the live chat at midnight. Again, I can't say how much I appreciate how much this fan base cares. We care so much. We care so much. And as the title of the show and the thumbnail suggests, people are asking, is it over? Is the sky falling? Is Mark Pope not the guy for the job at Kentucky? Should we go and lose our minds in the streets of Lexington? We need to rein it in. We need to rein it in a little bit, guys. It's not the end of the world. I understand we are upset, as we should be, that the fact that we're not getting any positive information heading out of this. I get that. I really do. I really do understand that. It's like, but at the same time, who's committed? Who's gone elsewhere? It hasn't happened yet. By the way, if news does break, like at 2 or something like that, we'll be back. We'll be up. We'll be back right here. Talking about what's going on with Kentucky. Okay. Tyran Stokes' visit to Kentucky confuses me. It confuses me. And you may be saying, why? Because as you said a minute ago, this recruitment has been fickle. It's been all over the place. It's been an emotional roller coaster for every program involved. It's exhausting. You're getting to a point now where you're seeing some recruiting analysts, some insiders, some people who have been doing this for a really long time saying, I've not really seen a recruitment play out like this. It's weird, right? So why would I be confused at this point in the game? Well, again, hate to do it. I hate to do it, guys. This is behind a paywall over at KSR, but it's been screenshot to death and posted all over Twitter. So I'm going to read it to you. I would encourage you, do what you want with your money, whether you want to throw it at On3 or wherever you want to throw it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's right to post things that are behind a paywall. We don't have to get into that today. I just know that I like the people that report over there at KSR. This is their job. This is their livelihood. This is coming from, I believe, Jack Pilgrim. Again, disingenuous if I didn't talk about this at this point. Stokes was in Lexington from Monday to Tuesday, but sources tell KSR that the trip did not capitalize on the Wildcats' late momentum, and the questions he had about the program going in remain. His lucrative partnership with Nike has been the driving force behind his continued interest in the UK, and the reason those close to him felt he'd ultimately land with the home state school over Kansas and Adidas, despite his relationship with Bill Self and the Jayhawk staff being stronger. Some familiar with his thinking felt there was a better chance of a pivot to another Nike school rather than ending up in Lawrence, no matter how things unfolded in Lexington. With that, sources tell KSR that Kansas has grown in its confidence since the visit, and there's optimism that they can get this across the finish line in the early portion of the signing period. There's been no public timeline for commitment, but the Jayhawks' confidence hasn't waned as the recruiting process nears its final stretch. Sources tell KSR that Stokes' camp has been in contact with the Kansas staff since the Kentucky visit concluded. Sources close to the Kentucky program are operating under the view that Stokes is planning to return home and evaluate his options from there. The expectation is that he will continue to prioritize roster makeup. It is UK's understanding that a decision has not yet been made. Okay. Couple of things in that couple of paragraphs that I highlighted. First and foremost, we'll start with this. Why does Tyran Stokes' visit confuse me? The questions he had about the program going in remain. I want you to think about this for a second. All 480 of you in here in the live chat right now. What sort of questions does he have that this staff can't answer at this point? It's April. It's April. April 14th, about to be, it is April 15th, year of our Lord 2026. What are the questions? What do you have to know? What is it at this point in the game that you don't get? Here's the money. Here's the players we're going after. Here's your role. What do you want? What do you want? And at this point, I have the same question for Pope. Here's the question that I asked on Twitter. What is this staff telling these kids? What have they been telling them for 2 years? Well, we just don't know? How do you not? You're the coach. You're the staff. You're the university. Who does know if you don't? How do you have questions that you don't have answers to? It's April. You know who's left. The entire roster is gone. You know the players you're going after. Donnie Freeman's on campus right now. You know the two kids in the backcourt that you're going to bring in. What does he have to know? It blows my mind. And this is not on Stokes. This is more so on the staff. What are you telling these kids? What are you telling them? Are they still confused about the money? Are they still confused about their role? The reporting throughout this entire last week and a half has been Tyran Stokes changes this roster construction. And if you don't get Stokes, you don't get the money and you have to reset and go look elsewhere. If you do get Stokes, you get some more specific players. How can you not convey to him and his agent or whoever's around them, here's the plan. You're our guy. You're our leader. You're the best player on next year's team. We're going to get you, and then we're going to go get the players to surround you that will win a national championship. We will get Rob Wright. He's here right now. We will get Zoom Diallo. He just came here. We'll get Donnie Freeman. He wants to come here, hopefully. We have the answers to the test. What do you need to know? Here's your money. Here's the players we're going to give you. We have a bench, by the way. Braden Hawthorne's here. Malachi Marino's going to come back. Trent Noah's here. Cool. We have the answers. What sort of questions? What's the problem? Where's the disconnect? And the other thing here. The expectation is that he will continue to prioritize roster makeup. It's UK's understanding a decision has not yet been made. The expectation is that the kid is continuing to prioritize the players around him. How have you not made it really clear? Look, we've got our starting point guard on campus with you right now. There he is. We're sitting in Rupp Arena or wherever we're at. We're hanging out. We're having a great time. We're going to Jeff Ruby's. We're getting ice cream. We're doing whatever the crap. How can you not convey to him? Here's the second leading scorer on this team next year, right? Here he is. He's right here. The future lottery pick center is testing the draft. He's going to be back. What sort of questions do you have about the roster construction at this point? We got two guards coming in from Furman and Colgate, and if we want them, we get them. They're from Furman and Colgate, for crying out loud. We'll get them if we want to. One of them 6'5" and can get downhill. We got scores. We got a bench. We've got a center that's going to be great. Where is the disconnect? How hard is recruiting? And here's the thing. Everybody at this point, if you don't get Stokes and Wright and Diallo, every single person that said Mark Pope can't recruit is right. At this point, it doesn't matter if Kentucky wins a title. It doesn't matter if they win a title next year. He can't recruit the guys that he wants. He can't do it. Clearly, if he does not land at least one of these guys, he can't do it. And if he can't do it, then he doesn't need to be here. But again, I'm just kind of fleshing out all the emotions that have been thrown out on Twitter right now. I need to calm myself down and realize, again, nobody's committed anywhere. But still, it boggles my mind how you could have come out of this and not have answered anything. It is so crazy to me. It is so crazy to me. I know I'm just walking in circles here. What did you talk about? Did you talk about the start of the Red season? I just spat ice everywhere. Did you talk about the start of the Red season? You talk about the fact that the Bengals still don't have a defense. You talk about the fact that Keeneland's going great. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's just, it shouldn't be this hard because we watched a coach for 15 years. Anytime he wanted a player, he would go, and you're coming to Kentucky. Have fun. What is the disconnect? As national champions just said in the chat, Louisville has 2 top 15 commits. They got, I believe it was Flory, and they got Shellstad. Shellstad I'm not that high on. Flory was a good ad for them, especially considering they need better rim protection. They need a defensive guy. Cardinals, I think that was a good pickup for them. They paid him a lot. I don't get it. And they could end up getting all of these guys. They could somehow miraculously, even though reporting says they're not going to get both, they could get Rob Wright, they could get Dawe, they could get Donnie Freeman, they could get Paul McNeil to shoot the piss out of the ball on the wing. That could still happen, but as of right now, what on earth? Y'all, what on earth? What is going on? It's again, I know I'm talking in circles. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. You could sell Kentucky basketball to a rock, and it can't even talk back. It will just start. It'll move to Lexington on its own. Gosh, dude. I guess the good thing is Donnie Freeman's visiting right now. I guess that's the great news. And it was really funny because it was like so weird on Twitter today where there were some people that I think Trilly Donovan said something like, I don't, is he coming? Is he going to UConn first? I don't know. He might be rescheduling his visit. And it turns out, he doesn't know. Nobody knows what's going on, apparently. But Donnie's here. Donnie's one of the players Kentucky needs. If they don't get Stokes, Donnie Freeman will be great for this team, by the way. If they get Wright or Diallo and they get Freeman, maybe they get Selskar out of Yale, maybe they get Paul McNeil. That's a good freaking group. That's a really good group, but they haven't yet. Donnie Freeman on campus. Let's talk about it in a minute. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NBA playoffs are here where every single possession matters, every matchup is magnified, and every single game can swing a series. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get in on the action. You can bet just $5, get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. The app makes it easy to follow with the action. It's got player stats, trends, matchups all in one place. And during the playoffs, that extra insight really does matter when you're looking at stars, role players, key moments, all that good stuff. It makes the entire playoff experience super engaging from start to finish. Go to the website, FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel. Play your game. Sometimes I feel like this staff is playing a little game with the fan base, just seeing just how much they can get them riled up. Who did Pope get last year? Average guys, no dominant pieces. They got Jaden Quains, and he didn't play. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that incredible? Intel on Freeman ain't that good either. You're right. You're right, Woodsman. Intel on Freeman ain't that good either. Apparently, he wants to go to UConn. Thank goodness we got to him first. Thank goodness that we got to him first. The cutoff date is in August. The Optimist is in the live chat. Former current BYU fan, The Optimist, in the live chat. Incredible. I love it. All right. Donnie Freeman is on campus right now. His name is Donnie. That's all I need to know. Power forward out of Syracuse. We talked about him yesterday. Stretch 4. He's taking a visit. 6'9", 210. He averaged 16.7 boards, 1 assist per game. Shot 47% from the field, 30% from deep, and 77% from the charity stripe. So here's the problem with Donnie Freeman. Very talented player, and the type of player with the skill, the NBA skill that I think Pope needs. He needs a guy at his 4 that can do what Donnie Freeman does, and he's very talented. The problem is he was not efficient enough. He's not efficient enough as a scorer and a shooter to push Kentucky over the edge without the surrounding personnel to guide him, which is why Kentucky really needs somebody like Rob Wright, Zoom Diallo. Shoot, they could take Stokes at the 3, Donnie at the 4, and nobody's stopping that. Nobody's stopping that. With the ball handling and playmaking, Stokes' playmaking, really underrated, by the way, in my opinion. This is what I've got on my big board in my little Google sheet that I put together. And I'm still on 10 right now. Upside versus production conversation right here. He was leaned on heavily at Syracuse, but had average efficiency and average offensive rating. He's got legitimate scoring touch at all 3 levels. Just because he ain't hitting doesn't mean he can't. He can do it in the mid-range, he can get to the rim, and he can knock down the outside shot. He's a stretch 4 who actually rebounds. It's great. He's got a little bit of edge to his game. Defensive upside is real according to the numbers. It's actually pretty decent, but the tape shows a lack of physicality, and after talking with Jackson Holzer, host of Locked On Syracuse, he's not that high on him physically, said that he was soft way too many times in important moments. I will trust Jackson on that because I can't sit there and go watch 30 Syracuse games from last year. He's very mobile. He's the type of guy that Mark Pope needs. Jumper is theoretical and streaky according to scouts, but it can be there. The turnover rate's a little too high. Very, very, very tough shot diet. Maybe you imagine Pope is a little bit more rigid in the type of shots that he lets Donnie take. Then he becomes more efficient. Again, you surround him with the right personnel. He's averaging 16 a game on much better efficiency, and he is a legitimate scoring threat and a mismatch problem. I think he needs to be a second or third option. Second option, maybe, if you don't get Stokes. And this is a gamble. In my opinion, Donnie is a very, very, very good player, but it is a gamble because you ask yourself, can you get his shooting splits higher? I think that the 77% from the free throw line at 6'9" indicates that you can get the shot to fall more consistently if you create more for him instead of him having to create more off the dribble. But we'll see. Player comparisons for Dom. I'll get you one right here. Give me a second. Sometimes you got to go to Ken Palm. You got to pop that thing open. Dylan Dawe. You guys remember him out of Texas? Actually out of Vanderbilt after that. And Dylan, in his final year at Texas, shot 45% from deep on relatively low. I mean, 41 of 91 is not bad. Let's see. Kessler Edwards, Taylor Brown, Anthony Walker, DeAndre Daniels out of UConn, and that was a team that won a championship. I talked about him quite a bit a year or so ago. Anthony Walker out of Indiana, Taylor Brown out of Bradley, Kessler Edwards. Let's see, Dylan Dawe. Who else is Donnie Freeman comp to? Zach Fremantle out of Xavier, stretch 4 kind of guy. Freeman's good. Freeman's talented. Noah is not starting next year. Sorry. Freeman's very talented. Again, it's just the question of, can you get him to raise his efficiency? And if you can, he's one of the best players in America. He's one of the best players in the SEC for sure. Everybody in live chat talking about Chandler asking for too much money. Yeah, $3.2 million for 9 points a game with the hope that he somehow keeps his efficiency and maybe raises his scoring level and decides to suddenly be a more consistent off-ball defender. Because he just got lost so much. He got lost so often last season. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, he ended the year shooting like less than 20% from 3. It was terrible. He fell off a cliff after that Vanderbilt game. Couldn't get anything going. And he's not playing good defense. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not worth it. We lost Wilkerson last year over $900K. Does Walker Horn have more eligibility? We might need him. We might need him. I don't get it. I do not understand why it is so hard right now to recruit to the University of Kentucky. I think that Stokes individually is a different case. Like if this was a different number 1 overall recruit that Kentucky was in for, he would have committed already. I think Stokes is a unique case for a variety of reasons. But goodness gracious alive, some of these players in the portal that last year you couldn't get Caleb Wilson. You couldn't get a lot of these players. If I was Kentucky's coach, things would not go well. I'll just tell you guys right now. I'd love to be on staff. Unfortunately, I don't think the staff wants me based on the way that I've talked about them. Because I don't get it. I'm not the one in the room, so maybe there's a lot of context that I'm lacking, and if I had the information, I'd go, oh, okay, I get it. I get why things are struggling, and I hate it, but that's the reality of it. But it doesn't seem that hard, considering there are a number of other programs that are recruiting just fine and winning just fine and making runs in the NCAA tournament just fine. And we spent $22 freaking dollars on our roster last year, and we could not buy a shot in games that mattered. And this fan base deserves more. We're all up past midnight. There are 500 of us right here talking about it. Can you imagine how many other people that are not sitting on this stupid YouTube channel that are worried about this right now? That want the success, that want to watch their team win, that have spent their entire life invested in this, and we can't get a freaking commit from a kid from BYU. Is BYU about to snatch our chain twice? Is that about to happen? Are they about to take Colin Chandler and then just take Rob Wright back? I couldn't handle it. They already took AJ DeBant stuff from us in other programs. I can't handle this. Oh, Nelly. It is, man, I really hope that very specific people are not watching this right now. Because I am crashing out. I love how I started the show telling everybody, calm down, and then I spent the next 25 minutes just losing my mind. What did Goodman say? The last thing I saw Goodman say on Twitter was that, man, this Kentucky point guard situation is getting really interesting. Yeah, no duh, man. No duh. Gosh. Is this Barnhart's fault? Shouldn't have been hired in the first place? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Gonna have another team like last year's team, watch and see. It feels like it. It genuinely feels like we're just going to run it back with players that we have to get excited about. We have injuries that derail parts of the roster because the strength and conditioning staff is somehow killing these kids in practice. What is going on there, by the way? Scrooge McDuck is the new AD. Feels like it. That's a great point. That's a great point. What is going on with Kentucky's AD search right now? Hey, mid-April, your AD's going to be out the door in a couple of months. He's going to go sit on $1 million for the rest of his life for no reason, by the way. Where's the AD search going right now? The extensive AD research where we're doing a lot of heavy research, guys. Research, and we're going to find the AD that will send us to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, where's that going? Why haven't we heard jack crap about that? Are we just going to figure out at the end of May? Well, you know, we gotta find a new AD. Let's just pick this guy in-house or this lady in-house. Let's just roll with that. You'd like to think there's a little bit more urgency or maybe some amount of reporting that would come out about Kentucky still looking. Radio silence on that end. Cool. Great. So glad to know that this program's in safe hands for the future. Thanks, guys. Everything seems to go great until they meet Pope. If he gets none of these, it will be the season from hell, but at least you'll be gone. I want Pope to prove me wrong. That's where I sit, Prepper Insights. I want Mark Pope to succeed. I want Pope to succeed. Anybody watching this right now, hopefully you've not clicked off and you hear this. I want Mark Pope to win every single game by 50. I want him to win by 1,000 every game if it was possible. I would want the other team to decide we don't want to show up and play Kentucky today because Mark Pope and his team's too good. But as it stands right now, it's going to be really hard to fight this one out, guys. It's going to be really hard if you don't get these players, if you don't get a couple, if you don't get one. As Kevin the Bacon just asked, as we've asked a million times already tonight, what is he telling these guys? What is going on? And that's true. It does feel like everything goes swimmingly. The players are interested. It's the University of Kentucky men's basketball, for crying out loud. By the way, shout out on the women's side, getting 4 players drafted, getting a transfer from Alabama. Kenny Brooks killing it right now. Great stuff happening on the women's side. Shout out. Men's side, you know that clip from SpongeBob where everybody's running around in SpongeBob's heads, everything's on fire, everyone's screaming. That feels like what Kentucky men's basketball is right now, where we don't know what's going to happen. And the staff, it feels like the staff doesn't either. I don't know. Mo Williams is his replacement. I really do think Mo Williams is a good add to this staff. I really do. Read the writing on the wall. It feels like we are in a very, very bad time right now. It is a very, very, very stressful time to be a Kentucky Wildcat. We could wake up tomorrow morning and Rob Wright and Tyran Stokes have committed to Kentucky. But as of right now, I am bewildered. Just based off the reporting we're getting from people that we can trust. You had a golden opportunity, and you are somehow screwing it all up. Mo's going to end up playing point. I'm going to end up playing point. I got 4 years of eligibility left. They're going to give me a call and say, you know what? You want to try it, big stuff? Let's do it. I mean, shoot. They might as well take one of us as a backup option because the first guy's not going to be healthy for most of the year. Goodness gracious alive. All right, guys. It's 12:22 for a lot of you. It's time to go. I appreciate everybody watching in the live chat. This has been an episode. It's been an episode. We'll see what happens. If something breaks, we'll be live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you've not already. Leave a comment if you have not. If you have a question that I've not gotten to, leave a comment. I'll try and get to it. You can follow the show on Twitter at LockedOnUK. It's where I'm doing a lot of talking right now. You can follow the show over on Instagram at Kentucky Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at LanceDawe_. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave those in the YouTube comments below. Hit me on the socials. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Kentucky. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Evening. Get some rest. God bless and go Cats. Goodness gracious alive, y'all. I don't know.